Hi guys, sorry about that. Your boy is a little late with this game. It took me a little while on being online with PlayStation to get things lined up and ready to go. Let me make sure everything's good, make sure I'm talking right. Yep, I'm good to go. We are lining up. Let's look at the settings, see what we got on this bad boy. Let's turn the music down just a little bit. The effects volume down just a little bit. Make sure that dialogue is all the way up. We want subtitles on. We want it to be in English. Alright, I don't know anything about this game, guys, other than the fact that it is a Star Trek game. It was made by some of the guys that used to work at Telltale. I think it's a choice-based game. I've only seen one trailer for it, and I read a review. Beyond that, I'm going in completely blind. Like I said, I know it's a Star Trek game, and your boy loves him some Star Trek. I grew up watching Star Trek with my mom and dad every Friday night. Star Trek Next Generation all through the 90s, and I love Kirk, I love Spock, I love Picard, I love Riker. You know your boy loves 709. The Borg were my favorite of all the villains just because they scared the crap out of me as a kid. But the guy, I really do love Star Trek. My understanding is that what I read in review, my understanding is that this game takes place just a few years after the last Star Trek: The Next Generation movie, which was, I think, Star Trek Insurrection. I want to say the name of it was. I don't remember. I remember seeing it in theater, and I think that was the only time I seen it. And I decided I really, really didn't like it because they killed Data. And Brent Spinner, Data, that's my boy. I wasn't happy about that. The story was overall lackluster. You could just tell they were kind of tired. But this game, my understanding is, takes place in that same continuity. That being said, the boy's done talking. Hold on to your butts, because here we go. I'm ready. I'm ready. Yes, we want to begin. I really wanted to try to do something a little different for this channel this time around. This is a dynamic lab adventure. My understanding is that in a lot of different ways, decisions really do matter in this game, so that probably means there's a few different endings. I was a little disappointed to find out there wasn't a PlayStation upgrade for this game. But you know.
Stardate 57931.4. The crew is restless. After spending too many months piecing our ship back together, we're finally about to venture out on a new mission. And the crew isn't letting this unprecedented ion storm slow them down. They're ready for something different. I know I am. Perhaps more than any of them. Fortunately, nothing ever stays the same. It's entropy, the nature of the universe. Change is inevitable. And while entropy says order gives way to chaos, in this case, change is good.
Just to be clear, I know 709 was in Star Trek Voyager.
First officer is en route to the Resolute. Jara Rydek. I know she'll bring a welcome dose of new blood to the crew.
I know 709 was in Voyager, just so I know, because I will get comments in the comments that you're not a real Star Trek fan. You said 709 was in Next Generation. I know she wasn't. Oh, nice reflexes.
Thanks.
No problem.
I'm not great with flying.
Boy, you're in the wrong
These
business.
little shuttles are the worst.
You don't like flying. And yet, you joined Starfleet.
That's roughly what I was about to say.
I'm not a pilot.
You should try it sometime.
Alright.
Sorry, I'm a little anxious.
I hadn't noticed.
I'm on my way to my first assignment. When we get to the starbase, I'm transferring on to the Resolute.
So am I.
The Resolute. So I'm assuming that's the name of our ship.
It won't be easy for Jara to step in at the 11th hour like this. But if she's half the officer I knew she could become when she was a cadet at Starfleet Academy, she'll be the XO this ship needs right now.
Boy, I'm gonna turn up the volume a little bit. There we go. That's much better. Nice and loud. Based on the song that created by Gene Roddenberry. I wonder if when he created this, if he had any idea what it would become. Change of station. I'm gonna assume that this is divided up into chapters, and if it is, I'm probably gonna make each stream a chapter. But we'll see how it plays out. We're already more than an hour, and it's almost 2 hours ahead of where I thought we'd be for live streaming this time around. Alright, cool. So basic moving, I can do that. The walking is a little wonky.
A starbase on the very edge of Federation space. Long way from home now.
But I mean, oh, why are we up so close? Back up. Okay, that's gonna take a little getting used to.
Commander? I'm not usually such a nervous wreck, by the way. I actually did well at the Academy.
Oh yeah?
Maybe you've heard of the Torvalin test?
Sounds familiar.
It's a tactical simulator that makes the Kobayashi Maru look like a picnic on Pintaris 5. Anyway,
Isn't that a
finished in
test
the
that
top
Kirk
20.
cheated on? I think it
Not
is.
just in my class. I mean, all time. In the history of the Academy. So, there's that.
Really? That's quite impressive.
Thank you. It was tough. But you know, I set my mind to it and it paid off.
Please place your hand here. Hold it there for a few seconds.
Some of these controls are gonna be a little interesting to get used to.
Welcome, Commander Rydek.
Wait, you're Jara Rydek? You absolutely crushed the Torvalin test. You finished in what, like the top 3?
That would be me.
Now I'm really... It's an honor to meet you, Commander. Sorry, I didn't realize before. I just came off the shuttle and was glad to be on solid ground.
The pleasure is mine, Ensign.
Paul Calloway.
Good to meet you.
I believe Commander Ermot is expecting you. He's in the concourse just ahead.
See you on the Resolute.
Alright, I'm gonna be honest. The graphics are not exactly, let's say God of War Ragnarok by any means, but, for PlayStation 4, not bad. Not bad at all.
Good day, Commander.
Okay, so if you press L2, it gives you a heads up on some different, locations you can go. Which we can go, can we go a little faster? Can you speed up? Maybe. Maybe not walk like you bow-legged. Why do I keep getting in front of the... that's gonna be jarring as all get out.
My briefing. Commander Ermot is a Bolian, so I'm looking for someone with blue skin.
You're going to the Resolute too?
Yeah.
Won't let me get through. People get out of the way. Commander coming through. Not exactly sure what I'm supposed to be doing.
Excuse me, have you seen a Bolian around here?
Yes, sir. Right back there, near the replicator.
Ah, there he is. Thank you.
Happy to help, Commander.
It's my first day. Leave me alone.
I'll replicate myself a meal once I'm on board. Excuse me.
Move! Get out the way!
Welcome to the edge of the galaxy, Commander Rydek. I'm Commander Jan Ermot, Operations Officer on the Resolute. Commander?
They do a good job of making it sound crowded. I'll give them that.
This storm isn't making anything easy for us right now. I know conditions are less than ideal at the moment.
It was a bit bumpy, but otherwise okay.
My apologies. This storm is unlike anything I've seen before.
I don't know who the actress is they got to play her, but if they use the same facial model, it looks very familiar.
From everything I've read and everything I've heard, we're lucky you were available to us. Coming from a premier starship and all. To our little research vessel.
What exactly have you heard about me?
First in your class at the Academy. Received the Starfleet Award of Valor during the Dominion War. Most recently, Tactical Officer and Chief of Security on the USS Endeavor.
You've done your homework.
Like I said, we're very lucky. The USS Resolute. She may not look like much compared to the bigger ships, but as far as science vessels go, she can more than hold her own.
I wonder if we're going to run into the Enterprise at any point.
6 months ago, she was nearly cracked in half, venting plasma, fighting for her life.
It was an accident?
The equipment malfunctioned. An accident suggests fault, but no one's to blame. It was a planned test, but the warp core was pushed beyond its limits. It destabilized the dilithium, there was a runaway reaction, and the warp bubble deformed. We thought we could reach a higher resonant frequency, but it was more than she could handle. Cost us our first officer and 22 of our crew. At the end of the day, we're all responsible for each other. That's what it means to be a crew.
I can't even begin to imagine what that must have been like for you. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you. It does weigh heavy. There are some things you can't forget.
It's been 6 months. What's the attitude among the crew now?
Unsettled. But I hope that a new mission will help them move forward. If not, move on. Listen. I realize you've known Captain Solano for quite some time, and I'm sure you're ready to bring your best. But I should warn you that when the captain announced you would be the new first officer, there were those who felt it was a mistake, that he should have promoted from within. So you might want to tread lightly at first. Until they come to value your contributions as much as he does.
Trust is earned, and it sounds like I have my work cut out for me. But I plan on winning them over.
I don't doubt that. I just figured it was better to know what you were walking into.
Of course.
Starfleet has assigned us a high-priority mission to the Hotari region. I'll let the captain brief you on board. I know he's eager to see you.
Will we be mission ready in time?
We have every intention. The crew has been working around the clock to get the ship ready. There's still so much to do.
I'm interested so far. It feels like Star Trek. Who are you?
Stuck. I got just the thing.
Okay, what am I looking for? The plasma torch. I think I know what. There we go. Oh, cool. Oh, that's fun. If I had access to the haptic feedback, that'd be really good. Alright, hang on. What am I doing? There we go. There we go.
And that... is that.
The lower.
I thought the thing was totally fried. Nice work, Carter.
Nothing to it, Neely.
And not a moment too soon. The boss wants us down in engineering. Like, now.
Alright, you still... Okay, you don't walk quite as cattywampus as the other one does. Still not great, though. Okay, we can move faster. When it'll let us.
Engineering.
I heard the new XO just arrived. Won't be long before we get underway. I just hope whatever Chovak called us down for, it's something good. I can never tell with him. I'd rather not end up degaussing plasma manifolds. Hanging upside down makes me queasy.
You and me working together, we can tackle anything he throws at us.
Oh, we about to go outside the ship. Oh, this is going crazy. Like I said, when you put it in the context that this is meant for a PlayStation 4, the graphics are pretty darn
We
good.
got here before.
Lieutenant Commander Chovak.
We were just looking for you, Commander.
A Vulcan.
Officers Ed Solar.
I think I got to do it.
I was beginning to think you
I used to can do it. Come on. Yeah.
We are all
Live long
hands
and
on deck
prosper.
right now, which means if you are not at your post at the appointed time, I do not have someone to replace you. A point I have been forced to make to Petty Officer Edzelar on repeated occasions.
Apologies for the delay, Commander.
I do not want your apologies. Simply see to it that it does not happen again.
You're kind of a jerk. But most
So, I
Vulcans
don't
are.
suppose you wanted us down here to check in before we go off duty?
Equip yourselves in EV suits to work on the exterior of the hull. I need you to tune the structural integrity field for optimal performance. The subspace distortions and ionic interference we are experiencing are preventing the proper calibration. But this ship must be ready to depart shortly, despite the storm. The precise nature of these disturbances are not fully understood. But many systems have been affected by the wide band of emissive activity.
Whatever it throws at us, we'll be ready. You've got the best chief engineer in the fleet.
I am a Vulcan, Mr. Diaz. Flattery is not necessary. All that I require is that you do your job. Right now, that entails critical preparations, because long-range sensors show that these disturbances will be more severe at our destination, the Hotari system. You have your orders. Do not delay.
Yes,
Roger
Commander
that.
Chovak.
Chovak. I feel like I know that name.
On deck.
I know that we are going to
All
get
hands
some
on
returning
deck.
characters that
That's
we're
what
familiar
Chovak
with.
said. You know what that means? It means this ship isn't ready to go out and the brass know it. So they're throwing every warm body at it. And they're going to leave on schedule. Consequences be damned.
It all comes down to us, Nelly. We're the ones who will get it ready.
I know what we can do. But this isn't just any old refit or any old relaunch.
Oh, whoa.
Excuse me.
That's the other dude. Okay.
A lot of new
Sorry,
faces
I'm
coming
bad with
aboard.
names in the beginning.
It's gotta be tough coming as a replacement. That's for sure.
They may not be the same crew we started out with, but they're still Starfleet. They'll know what to do when the time comes.
I prefer the scientific method. Evidence over assumptions.
Just trying to remain
Hold
optimistic.
on. Now there's an old face I didn't expect to see again. Hey, Miranda!
You weren't gonna leave without me, were you?
Miranda, you're here?
We thought you were staying on the Adirondack.
I think they know
Transfer
her.
came in at the last minute, so I figured I'd slum it on this bucket of bolts. Looks like you got her back together pretty nicely. I wasn't sure what to expect.
Don't talk badly about one of the best ships in all of Starfleet.
We've rebuilt enough of her by now. She better be one of the best.
We'll see about that. But I am glad to be here. He still owes me a bottle of Saurian brandy. Don't think I forgot.
Oh yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Maybe Carter can rustle up that bottle and we can give you a proper welcome. As soon as we wrap up this quick little spacewalk.
Here, let me help you.
Thanks.
So what's the word? Are you back in the security rotation?
Yep. Still running with the usual suspects.
Whoa.
Good to go.
I think she likes him. That's just my first. I don't know. I don't know what I'm basing that on.
See you on the other side.
I'm kind of enjoying it so far. I gotta be honest with you. Alright, what we're doing now, there we are, okay, I see it. Magnetic gravity boots. You gotta think, that's probably gotta be kind of hard to walk, fighting against magnets. I mean, don't wrong, I'd rather have it than not have it, but you know what I mean. Wow, this is pretty. A very interesting art. Whoa! A very interesting art style that they've chosen with it.
That view never gets old.
Let's go.
Captain Solano should be here momentarily. You'll have to forgive me, I don't know much about Kobleods. But my understanding is you need a steady supply of duridium to keep your cell structure stabilized, or bad things start to happen. And we have plenty of duridium in sickbay, so there's no risk of running out.
Thank you.
Feel free to make yourself at home. And help yourself to whatever you like from the replicator.
I don't think he's a doctor. Why would he bring that up? I'm a doctor, man, not a blue man. I don't know, that's stupid. Am I supposed to be helping myself to the rip? Okay. Ah, okay.
The first mineral Captain Solano ever discovered. Always was the nostalgic type.
Alright, there's the replicator.
Just a sip of something.
I tell you what, we'll do a tea. Wonder if we'll do Earl Grey.
Decisions. Tea.
It would have been good fan service if they had done tea Earl Grey. Picard's favorite.
That's lovely.
That was the quickest third cup of tea.
Jara Rydek. Last time I saw you, it was graduation from the academy. You'd already secured one of the most prestigious assignments possible. And you were burning with enough ambition to fuel 7 trips around the Necrid Expanse.
It's good to see you again, Captain.
I could not be happier to have you on the Resolute. My only regret is that we couldn't provide you with a warmer welcome. The arrival of a first officer to her new ship deserves a bit of fanfare. But, unfortunately, we've had our hands full with the refit.
That would be totally unnecessary. I don't need any pomp and circumstance.
You've been here all of 5 minutes, and already you're trying to make us more efficient. I like it. As I'm sure you've heard, we've had a rough go of it these last 6 months. The ship suffered some damage, but not nearly as much as the crew.
I heard that you had an equipment malfunction.
Is that what they're calling it? No, that's just someone being generous. If anything, it was a leadership malfunction. We were on the verge of a major scientific breakthrough. A quantum leap forward in warp core technology. 10,000 teradynes per second. The ability to travel at a sustained rate of speed longer and faster than we ever dreamed.
So he was gonna haul ass.
Been the
Right,
crowning
got
achievement
it.
of my career. Right there. Within our grasp. Until it all went so horribly wrong. We pushed her too hard, and a warp core malfunction overloaded the system, creating a pressure gradient way beyond what the ship could handle. It was heartbreaking. We lost some of our best people. As captain, I have to take full responsibility. It was my decision to make, and I have to live with the consequences.
You have to look to the future. You can't dwell on the past, on things you can't change.
There's nothing that can be done about it now. In my defense, I will say, I might have avoided the whole ordeal if my senior staff had been willing to trust me. There was a lot of pushback from my former XO, and I think that cost me his confidence.
Uh-oh.
I don't want you to pull any punches. Certainly not on my account. But once we decide on a course of action, I need everyone to fully commit to the mission. Anything short of that just won't work. And that's when things start to go sideways.
This is your ship, and you are the captain. So as far as I'm concerned, whatever you say, goes.
That's the kind of support I'm looking for. Look, I'll be blunt. We can't afford another mistake. Or at least I can't.
I don't know if I trust him outright yet.
Hanging in the balance here. We need a win. Something to restore the crew's confidence.
I understand.
On a more positive note, Starfleet has tasked us with what they're calling a mission of the highest priority. Escorting a senior diplomat to Hotari space. 2 previously peaceful and otherwise non-aggressive civilizations now find themselves on the brink of all-out war.
So it's a peacekeeping mission.
I see it as a golden opportunity to not only prove what the Resolute and her crew are truly capable of, but also a mission for which we're uniquely qualified. This
Oh, that's cool
storm,
sounds.
our
Cool
long-range
sound
sensors
effects.
suggested several orders of magnitude stronger than anything on record. A total anomaly like nothing we've seen before. And you'll never guess where it leads.
Hotari.
Exactly. Very nearly in the precise location where we're headed. Where I imagine the interference will be exponentially greater. But the diplomat will brief us on the details at the rendezvous.
But are we prepared to embark on the mission?
As much as I'd like to think that's true, I have my doubts. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I expect we'll have some rough sledding when we arrive, so I need you to prepare the crew for the worst. There's just one more thing I want to clarify up front. The metric that for me will be the ultimate measure of your success.
What is it?
If after serving as my first officer, you don't one day find yourself with a ship of your own, then I will consider it my personal failure. When that might happen is entirely up to you. But it goes without saying, You have my full support.
It's been a dream of mine since before I can remember. So I would be honored to become a captain someday.
As long as you're willing to do the work, you have my promise. I'll do everything in my power to see that it happens.
Good leader.
Thank you.
Come.
But I still don't know how I feel about it. We're gonna do some more funny walking. Yes, we are. Open sesame. All right, here we go. I'm sorry, guys. Your boy loves this some Star Trek. You got people out there that are Star Wars nerds. I'm Star Trek nerd.
I'd like to introduce Commander Jara Rydek, our new first officer. Some quick introductions. This is Lieutenant Handar, our helmsman, one of the best in the business.
One of?
Well, what he lacks in humility, he more than makes up for in ability.
A pleasure to meet you, Commander.
Likewise.
Next, we have Commander Westbrook, our Chief Science Officer. I've come to rely on his expert counsel on a regular basis.
Pleasure.
Commander Rydek, it is such an honor to meet you.
This is our tactical officer, Lieutenant Bedrosian, who's been looking forward to meeting you for about as long as I can remember.
I've been following your career for quite some time. And I look forward
to
learning as much as I can from you.
If anything, the honor is mine.
Well, I have to admit, one of the reasons I've followed your career is because you're part Kobliad, because of what you've overcome. Starfleet stands up for people who can't defend themselves, and you were one of those people once. But since then, you've done so much to protect others who need it. I really admire that. So, you've been something of an inspiration to me. Not that I've done anything close to what you've done, but you definitely set a standard to strive for.
That's very kind of you to say, but enough about me. We have a lot of work to do.
Oh, yes, of course.
And then, of course, you've already met Commander Ermont. Please, do everything you can to make Commander Rydek feel at home here. I'll be on the starbase. I have an urgent meeting with the starbase commander to get our...
Hey, he's gonna be on the starbase. Y'all didn't know that.
If they drag their feet any longer. The bridge is yours.
Sit in the Capitan chair.
Commander.
Our girl looks good. What can I say?
Structural integrity field. He's sent a crew out to recalibrate the emitters in response to the danger posed by the storm. We just need your go-ahead.
Permission granted.
Lowering structural integrity field.
Entering maintenance mode. Condition blue.
The storm is getting worse.
Looks like they turned off the SIF.
Great. Let's get to that emitter.
They got some funky dance moves going here.
Every time we're out here, I
put one foot in front of the other.
Got some scars on her. It adds character.
When I joined Starfleet, all I wanted was a ride out of town. But this isn't exactly how I pictured it.
On the outside of
I like how they're pretty much in unison.
No. Sometimes it feels like we're just part of the machinery. Don't you want more than that? I mean, Starfleet is noble and all, but it's still a machine. A massive, massive machine.
I am more than that. And so are you. You wanted to get away. I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy. I wanted to go somewhere. See new worlds. Look up at a sky no one's ever seen.
And explore new places.
Just 'cause I'm
Boldly go where no man has gone before.
today doesn't mean that's
No one has gone before. I apologize.
Diaz to Commander Chovak. We are at the SIF emitter.
Acknowledged. You may proceed with the recalibration.
Beginning recalibration.
Alright, hang on. Alright, what's the problem? I think I see it. I do think I see what I gotta do. What in the heck?
Looks good. That wasn't so hard.
That was kind of hard.
Commander Westbrook, right? Chief Science Officer.
You remembered my name and my rank. Impressive. Yes, I'm the Chief Science Officer, and I have the dubious honor of being the most senior officer on this bridge. I know this ship inside and out. Better than just about anyone.
Well, I'm so glad you said that. Now I know exactly who to turn to when I have questions.
Questions are more Commander Ermont's territory. Captain Solano primarily relies on my knowledge and expertise when he needs answers. I'm curious, though. A Kobliad, or half in your case, is an odd choice for First Officer, given your vulnerable condition and all. But if, as an example, we found ourselves in a hostile situation, and you were suddenly incapacitated because you needed an infusion, what would happen then? You'd leave Captain Solano without an XO. Granted, that would be a worst-case scenario, but not outside the realm of possibility.
Captain Solano's familiar with my condition. I'm sure it factored into his decision. So I'd have to say it's not a problem.
But we should probably have a contingency plan just in case. Listen, can I be blunt, Commander?
I see no reason to stop now.
Commander Sutherland, your predecessor, was one of the best first officers in all of Starfleet. His record was impeccable and his reputation was without equal. I mean no disrespect, but the shoes you're stepping into are almost impossible to fill. He was loved by the crew. And he was one of my closest friends. So I can only hope that you'll live up to expectations.
I don't think I could ever replace Commander Sutherland. And it would be a mistake to even try.
Seeing as Captain Solano is on the starbase, let me give you an update on this ion storm we're flying into. It's unusual, unlike anything I've ever seen. At the moment, I can't tell you if the Resolute will shrug it off or if we're putting ourselves at risk. However, if we learn more about its patterns, its nature, we can come up with a scientific countermeasure. Just a moment.
I think I may have won him over.
We've got a massive energy wave inbound.
That don't look good. Yeah, not good. I'll follow it under not good.
Its trajectory. Starbase docking clamps are holding. The storm's emissions are fluctuating, coming in waves. And if my projections are right, we're about to get hit by a wideband burst of ionic energy, like a tsunami.
I'm reading power abnormalities all over the ship.
Red alert.
Aye. Evacuating main gangway and retracting.
Putting sensor visualization on screen.
With the structural integrity field shut down, we can't take a direct hit.
Time to impact. 1 minute.
Shield systems are severely impacted. We have limited protection.
I need every available solution. What are our options?
We can weaken the impact of the storm with a deflector pulse.
Wait, there's a...
I'm sending all auxiliary power to the deflector dish.
Send the aux power to the shields. We can't reactivate the entire shield bubble, but it's a directional threat. So we can orient all we have towards the wave. You have to believe me.
We only get one shot at this. We can't afford to get it wrong.
That's right, which is why we need to send power to our shields.
Petrosian, get those shields up.
Rerouting power to shields. Stand by. I need a heading. We've only got one shot.
Understood. On my command.
Heading locked.
Raise shields.
This is it!
All hands, brace for impact.
I don't know, was that the right call or not? We'll have to wait and see.
What happened?
We have experienced a surge of radiation.
Oh, you don't say.
This radiation supercharged the plasma, forcing it to backflush through the system and creating a dangerous imbalance.
And you blow out every primary system on the ship.
Just tell us where you need us.
I need you to traverse the hull to the access port to recalibrate the port nacelle plasma regulator.
We've reached the first access point.
Understood. Do you see the override for the level 1 failsafe circuits?
Affirmative.
Engage the override. It should allow us to stop the EPS flow to the warp engine without triggering an automatic core shutdown.
Failsafe override engaged.
Are you sure? I am registering some crosstalk in the bypass circuit.
We need to route the signals so they don't interfere with each other.
Diaz to Resolute. The failsafes are temporarily disabled. Moving on to the EPS regulator.
Heads up, Carter.
What is that?
One of the discharges coalesced.
It's coming right toward us. I'm gonna try to disrupt it with my phaser.
So we gotta climb up the pylon. Not that there's really an up, but, you know.
Aiming in this thing's a little interesting. I don't feel like she's actually helping me.
Are you alright?
Yeah. Suit took most of it. Snuck up on me.
That damaged your suit. Energy dampening is down to 60%. We're almost to the regulator.
We're at the regulator. Opening the access panel.
I am now halting the EPS flow to the port nacelle. We have little time before it causes an overload in the engine. You must work efficiently.
EPS manifold adjusters reset to neutral.
I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing here.
The EPS lines to the port
Got
probe
it.
engine are back in balance. Almost done. Once I cycle the manifold nozzles, Chovak can...
I feel like I made a bad call.
Get down! DS to bridge. We just lost the docking clamp. We've got a lot of debris coming down. Hull vibrations, too. We can't finish the EPS regulation in these conditions. Please advise.
We have to release the ship from that other docking clamp or the hull will be ripped apart.
There's a problem. The clamps are supposed to disengage automatically in an emergency, but it's not working.
Not working.
What are our options?
The docking clamps are fitted with exploding bolts for an emergency release.
We've got crew out there. That'd be like setting off a bomb next to them.
Maybe there's another way.
Starbase is hailing us.
Put him through.
Resolute, the remaining mooring arm is failing. You need to disengage from the starbase now. The damage to the station will be catastrophic.
We have crew outside and are looking for the
We have
safest way
people
to...
on this station. If that mooring arm breaks, we could lose dozens of crew.
Commander, hear me. Reverse the polarity of the hull, which theoretically will repel the docking clamps.
And repel the engineering crew right off the hull into the storm.
This is Captain Solano. Put me on screen.
Go ahead. Captain, we have a situation.
Commander, what are you doing? This isn't your call to make. Blow the...
The captain doesn't know the whole story.
I'm giving you an order.
Yes, sir. Disengaging the clamps.
They're gonna get hammered with debris out there.
The captain made himself quite clear.
Reverse the polarity.
There is protocol.
And there are lives.
What is the holdup?
Starbase, stand by. We're gonna flip hull polarity to disengage the clamps.
Yes, Commander.
What? You just said you'd disengage the clamps.
Captain, I have to do this. Repair crew.
Boy, I told him he was in charge, and I'm real quick.
This is Acting Captain Jara Ryder. Be advised, tether yourself and deactivate your boots on my mark.
Understood.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark!
Thank goodness I got a hold of that. And watch out!
I got you.
Boy, it's kind of legit.
Plasma imbalance is reaching critical condition. We are moments from primary system failure.
I got it.
Push, boy, push. Push, boy. What were you gonna do if like the crate busted?
Look out!
Duck when it's coming at you.
I got you.
Boy got some dance moves.
Petty
And
Officer
she is out.
Escobar's hurt and unconscious. I'm gonna have to tow her back to the airlock.
Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. Mr. Diaz, the situation has changed. It has come
I
to
think
my
the situation has
attention that you are at
changed.
risk of triggering a
Commander, the way we came is the nearest airlock.
There's an auxiliary hatch near you on the far end of the pylon. You must bring Miss Edsolar there to access the interior.
Get
Roger
to...
that.
Boy, keep walking. I feel like I made the wrong call with the shield, man. But hopefully there's a certain at least a more exciting way. More entertaining. Feel like I may have already messed things up with the captain too.
You go first.
What?
Let me save your neck this time. No time to fight me on this. Get in there.
Not on your life.
Let's not let it come down to that.
I'm a gentleman, what can I say? Boy, you better pull. Oh. He got fucked up. I farted, I hope nobody notices. That's exactly what it is.
We made it.
But he got all kind of messed up.
They're safe, bringing the SIF fully online.
Do it.
Like his face, his everything, like seriously. He did not look good. Bet the captain ain't gonna be happy. The price of duty.
Nilly.
Probably gonna go for about 20 more minutes.
Help me with him.
Let's get this off.
Oh, yeah.
Medical. Got one wounded at my location. Carter. You don't look so good.
This chip is kind of like a bad luck chip.
You gotta be more careful. I just got here. I'm not ready to see you two get blown to space dust just yet. Now let's get you down to sickbay.
Yeah, I think she likes him. That's just my take on the matter.
Status report.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermont?
Releasing the docking clamps using hull polarity minimized damage to the Resolute. We'll have some last-minute repairs to make, but if we reapportion some of the staff, we can make our departure on time. As of now, however, we are successfully moored to the station.
Good to hear. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydek, with me.
I'm about to get my ass chewed. I know what that looks like full of balls.
You disobeyed my orders. Well?
I'm sorry for that, Captain. I did what I thought was...
You disobeyed my orders! And not just in front of the bridge crew, but the Starbase staff as well. That's going to get around. My name's already tarnished around the fleet. But what is it going to do to my credibility on this ship? From the top to the bottom. Bridge to lower decks.
Maybe I shouldn't have disobeyed a direct order. But you were wrong. You weren't on board, and you didn't have all the information. So I made the right decision for the ship. If you're worried about your credibility, put your ego aside and trust your crew. Trust me.
You might have won some fans on the bridge with that stunt, but not everyone. Lieutenant Commander Chovak has already bent my ear.
I'm sure he doesn't take it personally. He'll get over it in time.
Mr. Chovak is more complicated than he would want to admit. I guess we all are. And, if I'm being honest, I'm not sure what I would have done in the moment either. You never really know if you weren't in those shoes. So, let's just boil it down to, you did what you had to. That'll have to be good enough for me.
Thank you for understanding, sir. I'm sure no one knows the burden of command as well as you do.
I'm sure you will, someday. Despite it all, we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart. So if you'll fetch Mr. Ermont, we'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, and we'll set out for Otari.
Yes, sir. All departments reporting full mission readiness. All departments reporting full mission readiness.
This is my favorite moment, right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Captain on the bridge.
Sit. Sit, everyone. You all know, I'm not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first mission since our refit. Let's make it a good one. Disengage docking clamps.
Docking clamps released.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Handar.
The ship does look a little rough, but I think it's supposed to look that way. Battle worn for a science ship. That'd be a cool thing to do, sit out there and just watch the ship take off. Probably be like sitting at an airport watching planes go off times 1,000.
That should do it. Set a course for the Hotari system. Prepare to go to Warp 8.
Aye, Captain.
Engage.
You take this one.
Me?
Oh, we're doing...
Engage.
I wish they would have given you a make it so. That was Picard send off always. I'm sorry guys, I've learned it out. This is fun.
Simple, but effective.
I mean, plant my booty down.
Easy. Thank you. I'm fine. Really,
You don't look so good.
He ain't looking so hot.
I have to get to sickbay.
Go.
Got a pretty little mood ring going there.
Help me get her inside.
So this is gonna be a thing. Alright. I like my other one better. The ring, it was a little less, you know, the whole
That was
place.
quite a scare. A few minutes more and it would have been one of the shortest tenures on record for a first officer.
Is that the engineer that was out on the hull?
That Storm did a real number on him. He'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about yourself.
Is that Uhura?
Your deridium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your
Or at least the actress that played her, I wonder. It clearly meant to look like her a little bit.
Think of.
Maybe.
My name is Dr. Aram Duval, Chief Medical Officer. To be honest, I've never met a Kobliad before. You're
Rare. I know.
I was going to say special. The people's numbers have dwindled
Oh, I'm
despite the
special.
Federation's efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the deridium you need to survive. Yet you joined Starfleet and managed to thrive. I imagine the responsibility must be overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
I know what it means. And I know the responsibility that comes with it. But I can't be anything more than who I am. And if someone has a problem with that, or expects something else, then that's their problem, not mine.
That's exactly right. And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks. Not
Uh-oh.
the lives of your crew are at stake. My professional opinion is that the accident took a toll. More than he's willing to admit. He's overstressed, operating in the pressure cooker of his own mind. Which is never a good headspace when the lives of your crew are at stake. What concerns me is that now he's even further away from the thing he's been chasing his entire career. The breakthrough discovery. The major innovation. Something he can put his name on. But the more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be willing to take.
I think after what happened, Captain Solano's learned his lesson. And whatever ambition he once had is on hold for a while.
He may say that, but we'll see what happens. And I have to give you credit for what happened on the bridge. It took guts to defy a direct order.
guess word travels fast around here.
It's a small ship, and everyone's curious about the new XO. Fortunately, your cell structure's almost completely stabilized. And I'll spare us both the lecture, but I do feel it's my responsibility to remind you, without regular infusions of Duridium, you will not live. It's as simple as that.
Understood.
And my work here is done.
Lieutenant Bedrosian.
I came to see if you were okay. We were all pretty worried on the bridge. No one knew what was happening.
I don't want anyone to worry. This is just part of who I am. It doesn't define me.
Of course. I completely understand. And I would probably feel the same way if I were you. You trusted me earlier with the shields, and I appreciated that. I want you to know that I have your back.
Thank you.
She's sort of fangirling kind of hard, isn't she?
Missions that gave you that burn are quite unusual, like everything else that goes with this storm. That's a combination of hyronolin and lectrazine to counter the radiation effects. That should help speed your healing. She's come by a couple of times to see you already.
I'm telling you, she's feeling him.
It's good to see you awake again. I was starting to get worried. Not that you aren't in good hands with Dr. Duvall. You did take one hell of a shot, though.
Come on, you know you can't get rid of me that easy.
Don't push me, Diaz. You do not want to see me try.
No, nope. I am not getting on your bad side.
I am a formidable enemy. Millie was looking in on you too, by the way. But since it's just us right now, I had a chance to think about this while I was away. And I thought it was important that I just go out and tell you. Instead of tiptoeing around it. Or worse.
It's okay, Miranda. You can tell me anything.
I know that.
Then come on. Just spit it out.
I'm trying. Let me talk. What I'm trying to say is, we've been really good friends for a long time. But I got back here and I couldn't ignore it anymore. I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
This is all kind of unexpected.
I didn't expect this either. But here we are. And I didn't want to ignore it. I just figured I'd steer right into it. Well, what do you think? I've been about as direct as I can stomach. You can do that too.
I like you too, Miranda. Let's see where this goes.
Okay. I was really hoping you'd say that.
Sorry to interrupt, but the patient needs to rest if he wants to get back to his old self.
Of course.
That would be a cock block right there.
I'll see you again soon.
We gonna have some kind of a love triangle going on here? Cast adrift.
Approaching the rendezvous point outside Atari space.
Helm, bring us out of warp.
Dropping to impulse.
Whoa!
Ionic interference surging, Captain.
Oh, come on, guys. We just got it buffed.
We are at the correct coordinates to meet the shuttle.
Commander Rydek, find us our diplomat, if you will.
Aye, Captain. Let's reduce the noise. We'll track potential signals.
Excuse me.
I can manually tune what's left for Federation signal types.
We'll have to get figure me. I'm not always the best for the kind of interactive controls like this. That'd make me hell on a controller.
I've located the shuttle.
Opening comms.
On screen.
soon as we get done with this mission, I'm probably gonna call it a break.
Shuttle to Resolute. Debris field. Lost maneuvering. Losing.
I can't get it any clearer.
They won't get a transporter lock. It's just not happening.
Power up the tractor beam. We'll pull them directly into the docking bay.
Diaz, you good to run the tractor emitter?
Yes, sir.
You sure?
So it looks like we're primarily playing as two characters, Diaz and I can't remember what the first officer's name is now. I'm drawing a blank. Sorry. I'll get there.
First thing, lock onto the shuttle and stabilize the rotation.
This kid.
Debris. I'm on it.
Hey, it seems I got one person watching. If you're able, man, leave a comment. This is a little crazy. Oh! Didn't quite get that out of the way.
That's gonna take out the shuttle. There's the bridge. There's a large piece of debris headed for the shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
Phaser! Fire!
Take it.
I believe so.
Commander Rydek, plot an intercept course.
Rydek.
On it. Here we go. Maneuvering thrusters bearing 53 Mark 17, 200 meters on an intercept course. Got it.
Playing bumper car with asteroids, man. Come on in the house, as we say in the South.
We've got the shuttlecraft on board.
Good job. We're on our way down to meet them.
It's gonna be an ex-girlfriend. Ah, that way I'm filming his spot, close enough.
So to speak.
Ambassador Spock.
Oh, excuse me.
The captain will be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
Spock has a way of making things awkward. This is not Leonard Nimoy, obviously, may he rest. But, my understanding is this guy nails the voice and the mannerisms of Spock, and so far from what I can tell, he does great.
Officer...
Carter? Carter Diaz. Sir.
I am pleased to meet you, Petty Officer Carter Diaz. It appears I have you to thank for my safe arrival.
Your assistance arrived not a moment too soon.
You're very welcome, sir. I'm glad we could get you here in one piece.
Indeed. We thought we were prepared for our arrival in Hotari space, but it is evident my craft was not sufficiently robust for such intense ionic activity.
The storm has been pretty intense.
There was an element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies. What do you make of that? When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is not.
Well, this storm is one of the strangest phenomena we've ever encountered. It's disrupted other systems. Who knows what it might do to a warp drive?
Yes, it would seem further investigation is called for.
Hey Jackson, man, good to see you. Long time no see. Good to have you back checking us out, man. You need to go back and check it out. We did an entire series of Days Gone just for you, brother.
Excuse me.
I'm honored to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind.
I was planning on cutting it off, but now that we got some folks watching, I'll go for a little while longer.
Ambassador Spock, my senior staff.
Hey man, I just appreciate you stopping by, man. Make sure you like and do all that good stuff to share it out, and I sure would appreciate it. I'll try to leave a post to let everybody know next time we're gonna be up and doing this again. But I appreciate you coming by and checking it out, man. It's good to hear from you, Jackson. Don't be a stranger.
I didn't mean to suggest you were stuck in the past. You're right, Ambassador. Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
You are a legend, Ambassador. There's not an officer in Starfleet that doesn't know of your career.
I would never assume that to be the case.
We were hoping you could fill us in on the details. We got the basics from Starfleet. Two formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed, and the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour.
Yeah, this thing sticks a little bit, doesn't it?
Lydia and Hotari. The Lydians are the more advanced species. They made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago.
You ever wonder how they come up with some of these names?
It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Illydians have shared a mining operation there. The Illydians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining operations and expelled the Illydians from their system. That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation.
Have a good night, brother. Good to hear from you. Thank you for celebrating 60. Let's share it out there and see if we can get over a little higher, though.
By the ionic interference.
Have a good night, Jackson.
Were able to turn the tables
Thanks for stopping by.
the minds against superior forces, especially after decades in this arrangement.
Unclear. The answer to that question may be the key to a new, lasting peace, and one that I hope we can uncover during these negotiations. But it is unlikely the relatively primitive Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Illydian fleet if this escalates to open war. Left unchecked, this conflict will result in more bloodshed, which is what we are here to prevent.
And the dilithium trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly, the Hotari have been exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can persuade them peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines. And for the Hotari, something is better than nothing. Peace is our objective, after all.
That is correct.
If we could convince them, it would restore the peace. But we would need the Hotari to accept a difficult compromise.
Made all the more difficult by the emotions.
I may need to look at moving my camera down
Neither the Illidians or the Hotari
someplace a little different. They tend to put the
There is an
conversational pieces up here. Sorry, I'll quit talking.
In the past, the Federation has relied on the Illidians as a source of dilithium.
That certainly changes things.
Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
That means the Hotari have no reason to trust us.
I wouldn't go that far, Commander.
We are completely neutral in this matter, on neither one side nor the other. Any suggestion otherwise would compromise our position. Given the Federation's involvement in the Illidium dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
What worries me is if this whole thing unravels, and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the Ion Storm has done to our ship, and the Ambassador's shuttle, we have to assume the Illidian fleet has had problems with it as well. This recent surge in the energy disturbance temporarily levels the playing field.
Commander Westbrook is correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past. But they have never been observed on the orders of magnitude we have seen in recent weeks.
That may answer why the Hotari were able to strike back after so long. They finally had an opportunity, and they took it.
That would also explain the Illidians' restraint.
And reason to learn as much about the energy anomaly as we can while we are here. We do not want to be caught at a disadvantage of our own. So I trust we understand our circumstances.
We're operating on a strict timetable here, and we're going to be leaving for the negotiations shortly. Commander Westbrook, I want you to leverage our systems to investigate the anomaly from here while we're gone.
Aye, Captain.
Thank you all.
Dismissed.
I want to speak to both of you privately.
As soon as we get done with this round of conversations, I probably am going to call it a day.
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to make a formal introduction. My first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
Commander, as you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do in our official capacity as representatives of the Federation. But someone in an unofficial capacity, first officer, Commander Rydek could ingratiate herself to certain parties behind the scenes, where they may be more candid in revealing information that could lead to a resolution.
She certainly goes her own way. Maybe that helps in this case. It would be unconventional.
I'm honored to be included in the negotiation process.
You're not just included, you are instrumental.
Well, I hope Commander Rydek will have more luck finding out what really happened than we will through official diplomatic channels.
The fate of the negotiations, the interests of the Federation, and the prospect for peace may very well depend on it.
Alright guys, I think that this is where I'm going to call it quits for right now. Yeah, I think this is what I'm gonna call it quits for right now. Guys, I am fanboying over this game. I am nerding all over it, whatever you want to call it. Is it perfect? No, it's got glitches. There's glitches in the dialogue and all kind of stuff like that. The walking looks funny. The graphics, of course, are PS4 era, original PS4 era. Even though I think they've got kind of their own art style with this, which is kind of cool. That being said, the graphics are good for what they are, and the best part about it, it feels like Star Trek. This feels like a Star Trek mission. It feels like we're on a Star Trek ship the guy that's doing the voice for Spock is nailing Leonard Nimoy all day long. May he rest. And you want to talk about a legend being lost in Leonard Nimoy. My if the what I saw in the one trailer I saw was correct, that Commander Reichert or Captain Reichert or whatever he is in this eventually at some point shows up, and that'll be fun. One of the pictures I saw with the trailer seemed to imply that what looks like the Enterprise embedded in ice. But we'll see. I am having a blast with this. I would totally keep playing if I didn't have to get up and go to work tomorrow. And I got dogs barking at me to feed them and stuff like that. Them greedy animals. They want me to feed them greedy animals. How dare they? But I'm having a blast with this, and I cannot wait to play more. Cannot wait to. And I hope you guys will check it out. We will definitely be back with this first thing tomorrow. My wife's work schedule right now has been a little interesting. And initially I posted, initially whenever I did my short for the day, I said we'd be streaming this at around 10:30. And then I posted something in our little community thing saying, actually it's going to be 8:30. And then I had a mishap while purchasing and downloading the game. So I had to contact PlayStation to get a full refund. Thank God they were able to help me out. But so I was a little bit delayed in that. So I didn't get as much as I wanted to in for this. But unfortunately, I've got some things I got to do before tomorrow comes. So I'm going to call it an evening, but fully expect that I will be back playing this tomorrow. Certainly no later than 10 p.m. Because even if my wife doesn't work, she's normally in bed by 10. And if we will engage, we will be right back on the ship and we will be flying. Guys, I'm having so much fun with this because I love Star Trek. I thought it would be fun to play it, but I've just been geeking and saying I recognize that sound effect. I know what they're talking about. I'm fanboying all over it. I hope it's coming across in a fun way in the video. A couple of our viewers that are regulars, were regulars at one point, kind of fell off, but hey, they made a surprise return for this one stream. And it's a pleasure to hear from you, Jackson, and a couple of the other guys. Hope to see you guys there tomorrow night. This is crazy, and I cannot wait to play more of it. You guys can see more. Hopefully, all my joy and my excitement is coming across, and hopefully it's in a positive way and not an annoying way. I apologize. I can tend to geek out a little bit. But guys, I will be back tomorrow. I will try to keep you posted, and I'll try to do a little bit better about being exactly when. But hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow night. And guys, most importantly, remember, as always, common sense is not that common. Remember, I love you, and I will see you guys tomorrow night.